Alright, so I got the squish band cut. I got my stock port timing and base and squish measured earlier. So 24 thousandths, 102, 124, 75 and a half. Blow down on 22. Honestly, those are really good numbers. I'd rather see a 20 for a moderate saw. First of all, I'm not trying to build the hottest saw I possibly can. I'm trying to build a hot saw, but still be very well mannered and everything, which honestly, I'm going to pull a little power out of this compared to what I like to do. I normally like to do, let me write this down for you. So on this one, I just took 33 thousandths off the band. I'm gonna take 36 off the base. That'll get me right around that 21 thousandths. If there's any variance, then I'll be, I'll be within 19 to 22 thousandths. But it should land right around 21 thousandths, which is perfect. Normally I like to do 50 and right around 54, 55 off the base to get a 20,000 squish, but that normally nets right around 200 psi, maybe 210. I'd rather hit more 180, 185, 175 at the least. So I did 33 and 36. Actually, still got to cut the base, but I'm hoping that lands me right in that 180 range. And so you got the band cut there, got it all on my fixture. Now I gotta take all this apart, put my mandrel in there, and cut the base. Here's something kind of interesting for you. So, like I said, I cut 33 and 36. I actually like these numbers quite a bit. Like I said, I'd rather that be 20, and then the intake I'm going for 78. I'll get really close with this machine work right at 78. I probably could have just cut like a 30 thousandths pop up, and then like 32 off the base, and got like a 22,000 squish, or a little more, and I would have landed. That would leave these numbers the same. I would have landed 102, 124, 78-ish, which is basically what I'm going for. I mean, I'd rather see 102, 122, 78, and so I probably could have just cut a pop-up and then just widened the exhaust is all, and I would have had what I was looking for. And I've never done that, but it'd probably be pretty good. But I didn't really want to do that and find out it kind of sucked or wasn't as good as I wanted, so I went ahead and cut the squish band instead. I probably won't have to touch the intake at all with this. I might just smooth it out a little bit and make it a little more uniform. You really don't need to widen the intake on these at all. They're already really wide from the factory. So you look at these bad boys, I mean, I'll just go ahead and open this up a little bit here and kind of smooth out the castings. The exhaust, you can take a lot of material out of the exhaust on these. Same thing with the lower transfers. But so yeah, this is probably going to move my numbers down everywhere, or gain, whatever you want to call it, probably 3 to 4 degrees. So I'm going to have to actually grind my exhaust back up and the transfers back up, and then the intake I just have to do a little work, and that'll be where I want it. Normally, the hottest I've made one of these, I was at 98 on the exhaust and 80 on the intake, and then an 18 degree blowdown, and that last saw I did had 205 before we even broke in, and that saw was hot. I really liked that saw, but like I said, not trying to go too extreme on this build. So I had to cut a new mandrel. My mandrels, they all kind of just cycle around. If, for instance, this is 50 millimeter, if I don't have a 50 and I have a 52, I'm probably just going to take my 52 and cut it down to a 50. Because, sometimes I get these oddball sizes, like a 47 and a half. It's unique to one saw, and I already have a 48, so I'm like, well, I'll just make my 48 to a 47 and a half. And in turn, everything gets cycled through. So I actually had a brand new mandrel, same as this one here, and it was 51 millimeters, so I just cut it to 50. And that just kind of happens. I don't know, maybe it keeps my mandrels fresh, because they do get a little marred up in the jaws. It is aluminum, so, but whatever. I mean, they all just cycle through, and if I don't have one, I take the next biggest one and I cut a new one. It takes a little time, I guess, but anyways, I cut this really tight fit. Ended up being like 49.9 something, like 9.1. And you got to cut a little relief in it, because I am going to cut the cylinder extensions down a bit, so you need a little room to get in there. So yeah. And there you have it, 36 thousandths off the base. And there you have it. Machine work done. That'll conclude the machine work part of this build now.